Presented by South Country Co-op.
This week's travels start off in Toronto at the world's greatest entertainment centre, the fabulous Sky Dome, home of the Toronto Blue Jays. I was in that city for a few days to go to Jays games with some friends of mine. The weather was spectacular, the crowd amazing. My brother from another mother, Mr. John Corcelli, and I went to the game on Saturday, and Dave and Megs, Dave and Margaret and I spent Father's Day in the shade of the stadium. The Jays won both games I attended. I'm just saying, they won both. Then, before I knew it, after driving through what felt like a monsoon, my gosh, did it rain. I was in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. If you've never been, it is one of the most impressive museums in the world. It features all sorts of artifacts and memorabilia from all ages and styles of music, from the roots of rock and roll through Elvis Presley. Now, one of the things that keeps changing at the hall are what's on display and where it's on display. But this building opened in 1995. I've been visiting since 1996, and the Elvis Presley display has never changed. The king of rock and roll is one of the first things that you see, and justifiably so. There's the suits, along with the motorcycle, the big Elvis light, and plenty of other things to see. Early rock and roll continues with Chuck Berry, goes to the Rolling Stones, to the Beatles. Now, it was so very hard to get a picture of this display case of the Beatles without people in front of it, because people just stop, like I did, and they stare at the clothes and guitars and lyric sheets that are all connected to John, Paul, George, and Ringo. This by far is one of the most popular display cases in the entire museum. After the older rock and roll artists, there are some more current ones with smaller display cases, like U2. On display in this case, by the way, is a letter from a record company turning down the band, saying the company doesn't see their potential to sell very many records. Fascinating stuff to look at all these years later. And yes, there are some modern items from modern artists like Harry Styles. You can debate whether he'll ever be inducted into the hall as a member, a long way down the road, but this outfit is still on display right now. Some cool album covers are represented right now as well, including the jacket Joan Jett wore on the cover of the I Love Rock and Roll album, and the leather jacket and saxophone Bruce Springsteen wore and Clarence Clements held for the cover of Springsteen's Born to Run. So cool. There are big, huge displays that you can look through at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then there are rooms of items, all sorts of items, including lyric sheets. Here's Leonard Cohen, Canadian Leonard Cohen's lyric sheet for First We Take Manhattan. Cohen was inducted into the hall back in 2008, and his lyric sheet lives there to this day. There are 7 floors of items on display, and up on the 5th floor is a case featuring all of the nominees from 2023, including Kate Bush, George Michael, Rage Against the Machine, Sheryl Crow, and all the others. Now, this hallway features a listing of all the nominees over the years, and it used to be located in the darkest section of the building. It was so dark back there you could hardly see it. But now it's near the top of the pyramid, one of the best lit sections of the building. Each year's class is listed with its own year, and then there's videos to watch and learn more about the artists inducted. And then each of the inductees have their own plaques and signatures, including Canada's Rush, Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, Neil Peart, forever enshrined as one of the best there ever was and best there ever will be. And then there's Nirvana and Bruce Springsteen. As of right now, there are 378 inductees, and I took pictures of most of their individual plaques, so we should probably stop there. But no, they're all giving a personal connection to the artist and the museum, and they are all fabulous. Here's a great replica. Pink Floyd's The Wall show. This replica has been on display since the museum opened, but it looks like it's on its way out. So if you're a fan of the Floyd, get to Cleveland soon. On the 6th floor are instruments from different bands, including Trey Cool's drum set from Green Day. And this sweater, robe, piano, dress, shoes, and all the other items you see right here all belong to somebody named Taylor Swift. Yes, she's used all of these items in either videos or live shows or something. Yes, Taylor Swift has touched all of these artifacts. And on the very top floor, just in time for their new album to be promoted, a collection of items from Bon Jovi. This room is the one that changes the most often and is always interesting and full of classic rock and roll memorabilia. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame sits on the Lake Erie shore next to the Great Lakes Science Center and the home of the Cleveland Browns Stadium. and it's all a great place to walk around on a nice day. Luckily, the monsoon had stopped by the time I left the museum. They closed at 5 and actually had to ask me to leave. But I did leave, and I'm already thinking of going back, and I can't wait. Long live rock, and long live my days of traveling.
Traveling with Dan is presented by South Country Co-op.